next subject of the day is I want to talk about just the fantasy outlook of the Lions players going forward. After the loss of Matthew Stafford, we've seen what that looks like after 2 weeks. And we want to see, just talk about how it's going to look going forward because the playoffs are getting ready to start. So people have a lot of fantasy players on the Lions, and they want to know how it's going to look. So, let's break it down into just a few players because, I don't know who else there really is. So there's Golladay, Marvin Jones, T.J. Hawkinson, and Bo Scarbrough.
And Jeff Driskel in some leagues. Just
right, that is
out there.
Jeff Driskel. Yeah, I'm in a league with a two quarterback league, and it gets very thin. It's 12 teams, and each team has 2 quarterbacks, and it gets super thin. So yeah, Jeff Driskel is definitely taken in that league. So yeah, let's get into Jeff Driskel as well. So I wanted to just say that, man, oh man, they are targeting Marvin Jones like none other since Driskel started the game. So, Marvin Jones this past game, he didn't do that well. I think he got like 10 fantasy points or something, like nothing that big of a deal. He ended up with 5 receptions and 46 yards, but he had 11 targets. That is crazy, man. This guy, that's like Tyreek Hill target numbers.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Injury.
Yeah. So, what do you think about Marvin Jones and Kenny Galladay's fantasy outlook going forward? Because he kind of stayed away like Kenny Golladay, like he was the plague. I don't know if he was scared of Josh Norman or what.
Yeah, as far as Kenny Golladay goes, it's a boom or bust type of situation. So if you need like a miracle, cool, go for Kenny Golladay. But if you don't, I would definitely go for someone that has more volume, like Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones at the very least is still a flex option. What person do you have that's going to be in your flex position that's getting double-digit targets? And he gets the touchdown. So, yeah, he's not, catching 10 catches, but let's say he catches 5 for 40 yards and a touchdown or something. Depending on that format, that's a 16, 15-point game, or it's a 10-point game standard, which a 10-point game in a standard league for a wide receiver is solid. So I think Marvin Jones has a lot more value than Kenny Golladay does at this point, but Stafford does come back, which they have mentioned that, he's not going to IR. He really wants to come back. If he comes back, dude, Golladay is for sure a receiver to be starting. But right now, I would keep him on your bench or even try shipping him out to maybe a Detroit fan or something. If you can still trade, see what you can get for him.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to see that because because Kenny Golladay, he got targeted 4 times. He got 4 receptions. You know what I mean? This guy will catch anything. His radius is so big. He's so athletic, and he could catch any ball that comes his way.
Yeah.
And I was just begging Driskel to throw to him. I was like, come on. Like, every time you throw to him, it's a big gain or a first down. Like, come on. Like, throw more at this. And Josh Norman got hurt for a second. Like, he was out of the game for a while, and he still didn't target Golladay. I'm like, oh, come on, man. So, and for Marvin Jones, that completion percentage, he's usually much better on that completion percentage. So he's gonna get these targets, these 11 targets. I think he got more last game, and he's gonna catch a lot more than just 5 of them. So if he caught all 11 balls this game, that's just 11 points without the yards or anything. Marvin Jones is a must start in my opinion, with Driskel at quarterback and Kenny Golladay.
Obviously, depending on who you have, because there's some leagues that people have just phenomenal lineups. But if you're not one of those teams that has literally top 5 scorers at every position, Marvin Jones is a must start.
Yeah. I'm not gonna bench Mike Evans or somebody for him, but of course, yeah. I'm saying if you're looking for somebody, he's good. He's good.
For sure.
Yeah, and then, so let's go into the quarterback position since we already talked about that a little bit. So Driskel, he was doing well the first couple games. He's getting some running yards, and then now this game, they put a lot of pressure on him, and he looked very flustered, and he seemed like he's just trying to run. He was very dependent on tucking and running, and that seemed like an issue for him, and he instead of throwing it away or maybe, releasing the ball early into somebody's hands, he was trying to run and he'd get negative yards, or maybe those defensive players were in the backfield already and he couldn't get anywhere and he got sacked. So he got sacked like a million times. I guess when What do you think about his fantasy outlook going forward? Put him in a category of other quarterbacks that you would put him with fantasy wise.
Oh God. I gotta think real quick. So as far as rankings go, I'd probably put him roughly around like a Jacoby Brissett. Let's put it that way. A Jacoby Brissett. The dude doesn't throw for many yards. He'll have a couple games here or there that gets multiple touchdowns, but he runs. And I think Driskel runs better than Jacoby Brissett. But I mean, just with our offensive scheme and still trying to run the ball and, this and that, I think he's roughly there. I would not start him if you still have a starting quarterback, like for another team that is a starter, not a backup, since there's so many injuries in the league right now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, 2-quarterback league, like, you said, cool, go for it. If you have 10-man league and you have anyone else that's a starting quarterback,
right? Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So what about this? Andy Dalton starting again. Would you start Driskel or Andy Dalton?
Oh, you got to start Driskel, dude. Andy Dalton could throw 4 interceptions and then get benched and leave you with negative points, which I have seen that happen before.
Hey, man, Driskel threw three interceptions, man, this past game.
To be fair, the dude ran for like 60 yards too, so you figured that outweighs the interception.
Yeah, that's true.
So, no, I mean, I wouldn't start him by any means unless you have no quarterback whatsoever, or your quarterback went down with injury or something and there's no one else.
Right.
So.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the main event.
Yes.
Bo Scarbrough. Yeah, dude, this guy is a beast. This guy is our running back. I love this guy so far, man. 18 attempts, 98 yards, 5.4 average. That's what I'm talking about, man.
I know. I have so much to say about this kid.
Go ahead, man. Let's hear it.
All right. First off, last week we raved about him, which, by the way, we got a lot of views on that video. I love it. I love you fans. So last week he had more yards after contact than he did yards from scrimmage, which screams 2 things to me. 1, our O-line sucks ass. And 2, the dude makes moves. You don't get more yards after contact than yards from scrimmage. That literally is impossible. So that just tells me that the dude is doing everything on his own and he's making as much possible happen as he can. And then this week he ran for 98 yards on less than 20 attempts, so he's averaging 5+ yards a carry. And he had a 30-yard run taken back from a holding call. He already had a phenomenal day. If you take that 30-yard run and add it in there, the dude's averaging like almost 6.5 yards a carry. So, I mean, he ran phenomenal. And especially on a day where your quarterback couldn't throw the ball, I mean, kudos to you.
Yeah. No, yeah, man. You took every word out of my mouth. He had, a great game. I think that he's been the shining star of our team since Stafford's gone down. I'm just so happy because I think that we finally have that north and south running back that Bevel has been looking for. I think that, yeah, he's obviously had success in the past with Adrian Peterson and Marshawn Lynch, and we haven't had a guy like that. All of our guys have been kind of speed backs. Carry-on was kind of that guy, but he was also more of a east and west kind of runner and like a run to the outside kind of runner. He wasn't the power to the inside, north and south running back that Bevel's used to. And I think that Bo can be that guy, and he's really turning out to prove that to us. And I think that I'm going to be looking forward to watching him the rest of the season more than anything in these Lions games.
Well, it's exciting to watch any running back that runs the ball well. I mean, every team that has a back, it's just fun to watch those teams. You watch the Saints, you watch Dallas, you watch Vikings when they had AP, Marshawn. You watch any of the top running backs, and it's just an exciting game because you never know what's going to happen. They make moves. I mean, it's fun to watch, and we haven't had that in a long time, so.
Okay, well, let me pose this question to you. So you brought up that our video got a ton of views about Bo Scarbrough, right? So, my theory of that is that a lot of people were picking him up off the fantasy waiver wire, and they wanted to learn a little bit about him. So right now, people are thinking, he got some yards. He got 98 yards. He didn't see the end zone. He's not really getting that many catches. Is he a legitimate fantasy option going forward? What do you think?
A lot dictates that obviously, there's 8-man leagues, there's 10-man leagues, 12-man leagues, and so on and so forth. And there's also standard and PPR. Standard league, I think for sure he's a flex option. Any player that gets 20 touches a game is a must-start player. In fantasy, it's all about volume. I don't care if you're Odell Beckham, like he's having an awful season because he's not getting the volume. Yeah, he'll catch, the passes thrown his way, but if you're not getting the volume, you're not going to do anything. With Bo, yeah, he fumbled, but 7 points in a standard league, that's not too bad. It's not the greatest, but, I think with how he's running, they're still going to feed him the ball. They might get him a little bit more involved in the passing game. If you were one of the lucky people to pick him up in a standard league, I 100% say start him, especially with all the injuries that have happened in the last couple of weeks with running backs. And, maybe you need to fill in Marlon Mack's spot, or you need to fill in Devontae Freeman. Yeah, exactly. So if you were lucky enough to pick him up, for sure, start him. In a PPR league, I would be very hesitant. He definitely would be a week-by-week matchup, depending on if you have bye week, which the bye weeks are almost over, and as well as injuries and so on. So standard league for sure. PPR depends on your team.
So, I agree with you to a point. Yeah, I think that PPR, that he's going to be kind of a liability because I don't think he's getting any other receptions. And so, what he got today is probably going to be his average. So he got like 9.8 points, 98 yards. He had no catches, nothing like that. So he might get a touchdown. He might get the same thing, but a touchdown next week, or maybe the week after he might get less than that. But I think on average, 9.8 seems about right. And I don't think that'll cut it for a PPR league, especially.
No. Well, I expected maybe 3 targets in a game, which is not much in the PPR league. That's why I was like, if you have to start him, then
right. And standard. So I agree with you. See, but here's the problem. You also have to look up their matchups. I know. And going forward, he's going to be facing the Bears, which is a tough matchup. They have obviously a beastly defensive line. Then the Vikings, which is going to be very, very tough. Week 14, that's when a lot of playoff races start in leagues. And going against the Vikings is never good for a running back. And then after that, Tampa Bay, who's also been killer. And then the Broncos, who are okay. And then week 17, if your league goes into week 17, the Packers, which are better. Packers, I think you could run on. But the rest of them, yeah. So
they're tough matchups for sure. But I figure like when you look at how, like I said, he's a flex option. You should have other people playing, and also there is a lot of injuries right now. So I feel like he is a must start at the flex position, especially if you're getting the volume. It only takes one play. So I don't know, those Bama backs, dude. When you give them volume, they start going.
Look at Derrick Henry.
I was just gonna say, look at Derrick Henry. You give him the dude breaks a 50+ yard touchdown like every other game. So I don't know. I think he's a must start at flex in a standard league.
Yeah. All right. That's all we got for you guys. So thanks for clicking on the video again. Thanks for sticking with the Lions. You're a true fan, just as we are. We're real Detroit Lions fans. And just let us know what you think in the comments. What do you think about our season so far? And Patricia's comments, are they just a bunch of noise that coaches have to say, or do you believe him, and are we trying to build for something greater, and are you sticking with him? Also, let us know what you think about the fantasy options for the Lions going forward after Matt Stafford's injury. Let us know about Bo, because Bo knows, so let us know what you think about him and Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones going forward. Obviously, Marvin Jones is going to be a beast, but how do you feel about Kenny Golladay? All right. Thank you.